thinking about downsizing, you've probably heard all the fluffy stuff, rainbows and lollipop stuff, and it'll be so easy. You'll love having less kind of advice. But what about the hard parts? Well, today I'm walking you through 10 brutal truths about downsizing that people rarely admit. And don't worry, I'm not leaving you hanging there. At the end, I'll share 5 genuinely compelling reasons why downsizing can make your life simpler, lighter, and frankly, better. Brutal truth number 1. Your furniture probably won't fit. Now, if you had a larger home, 2,500, 3,000, even 4,000 square foot home, those pieces of furniture were meant for bigger rooms. And when you move to a smaller place, likely that furniture, particularly key pieces like dining room tables, sofas, things like that, won't fit into your new place. So you might be very much looking at having to buy new furniture, which is something people don't consider when they're downsizing. I had a client recently who had a 7-foot long dining room table and rejected a whole bunch of places simply because that 7-foot table wouldn't fit into those places. Accept it early and plan for it. Brutal truth number 2. You might not save money. You want to sell your house when you're downsizing thinking you're going to get all the equity, which is likely true. However, what people don't talk about is the monthly costs are probably going to stay the same and they might actually go up a little bit. And that's a brutal truth. And the reason being is if you're moving into condos or if you have HOA fees, there could be assessments. Your utility costs are going to be probably the same. So if you're thinking that save all this money, it actually may not be the truth. Brutal truth number 3. It's louder than you think. So newer designs of homes and condos are open concept. And if there's 2 of you, and if you're like my husband and I, he's a night owl, I'm an early bird, he stays up, I go to bed. In an open concept style of living, noise travels. So be prepared that you won't have as much quiet space as you might expect. New construction isn't the same as your house that was built in the 80s or 90s. It's much louder. It's wood frame, it's drywall, and therefore sound travels between not only your own unit, but often between units. So you can hear someone else's water running. So that's something that people don't talk about as well. Brutal truth number 4. Storage becomes a daily problem. Large house, you've had a basement, you've had a garage, you've had lots of storage, closets and whatnot. And when you downsize, you're actually giving up a lot of that space, especially if you're moving into a condo. Now you may or may not have a storage locker. You may or may not have a storage room within the condo itself, particularly if it's a newer condo. They are very efficiently designed with very little storage. So on a daily basis, you're going to have to find room for the tools, for the small appliances, for the extra clothes that you may not have considered before. Brutal truth number 5. You might feel more isolated because you're either moving to a new neighborhood, a new city, you're in an area that you're out of sync with the stores that you use on a regular basis. Grocery stores, pharmacies, other stores that you go to, pet food stores. When we moved to our condo, I had to find a new pet food store that was closer to where our new place was than our old place. I had to go to a new grocery store and it had an entirely different layout. And I knew exactly in my old store, exactly where everything I wanted was. And now I had to relearn it all. It was very frustrating. I eventually adapted, but that is part of downsizing that people don't talk about, is you're going to have to adjust to new routines and feel a little isolating at times. Brutal truth number 6 is it's emotionally draining. This is big change. And as much as we talk about how wonderful it's going to be, life is simpler, and all that is very true, it can also be emotionally draining going through the process. Packing up, having to go through sentimental things, having to sort through rooms and years of stuff can be very emotionally draining, and it can take its toll on you. I just had a couple recently who came 3,000 square foot home, and they had 28 years of their stuff, their kids' stuff, a full basement stuff, a garage full of stuff, and she was having health issues. He was the primary organizer, and he had to do it all by himself, and he found it very tiring, very emotionally draining. Brutal truth number 7. Your ideal home may not exist. I've had several downsizers. I need 3 bedrooms. I need 2.5 baths. I need a basement for storage. I have their list of must-haves. And then when they go out and look for those things, they find out that if they want them all, they're going to pay more and therefore net less than what they were expecting, or they have to compromise and give up some of that expectation. Something exists for you. It may not necessarily be the ideal situation. If you don't plan ahead of time and really think through what's most important for you, you can be living with regrets with your downsizing. Brutal truth number 8 is living with less sounds nice until you have to go look for something. We went through this. My husband had a garage full of tools and stuff and drywall and wood. And we move into our new townhouse and we're doing some project and he goes, "Yeah, I did have that X tool. I sold it in the garage sale." I heard that several times. There's an adjustment period of giving things up. Now, the thing around that is you can go and rent most of these things. We have a tool library. Brutal truth number 9. Your kids don't want your stuff. May be hard to hear, but it's true. Your kids don't want your stuff. You're keeping it because maybe somebody can use it. It's really great quality. It's all solid wood. It's what is important to you. But here's the truth. It really isn't important to your kids and probably your grandkids. So keeping that stuff isn't helping anybody. It's just creating more clutter. Brutal truth number 10. You feel like you've made a mistake by giving up your garden, your view, your neighbors, things that are really well entrenched and you know. Here's the reality. It's going to be a transition to someplace new. That always happens and there'll be bumps in the road. But here's the thing, you've had lots of bumps before and you've gotten through them. You're going to get through this one. Here's 5 reasons why it could be the best move ever to downsize and make a simpler life. Here's the thing, we have a connotation of upsizing, upscaling, all is in the positive. Bigger salary, bigger job, bigger house. That's what we strive for. And so when we think of downsizing, we think that we're diminishing or getting rid of stuff. Think of downsizing this way. You are simplifying your life. You are bringing into your life things that you really can enjoy and use now, wherever you are in your lifestyle. The first reason, downsizing, it's simpler life. Everything is better. Less clutter, fewer things to look after, less maintenance, maybe no stairs. Things are simpler and better, and that's what downsizing gives you, more joy. Reason number 2 is you can be closer to family. Often in today's world, you know, your kids have moved away for jobs, for different reasons, and now you have the opportunity to move closer to them. And as we age, we know that having community and people that we want and love in our lives is really important to keep our vitality. Reason number 4, home maintenance. You either can't do it or you don't want the responsibility anymore. Here's the truth. You not keeping up with home maintenance, that means that you're deferring your costs, and therefore down the road, you're actually lessening the value of your home. And the other thing is you don't have the energy, you don't have maybe the capability to keep up with the maintenance like you did before. So downsizing can actually release that built up equity that you're living in. Reason number 5, and that is cashing in on the equity of your home to give you that freedom, that financial security that you might be looking for, you know, and doing it today when you have that opportunity and you're able to do it. That's the key. Don't wait till it's really a struggle. I know people who've done it, and trust me, if you think it's hard now, it's 10 times harder waiting. It's not about being smaller, it's actually about being smarter when you downsize. And be aware of costs and emotions, those are critical. And be aware of the joy and the freedom with the less responsibility that downsizing brings. So thanks for listening. See you in the next video.